another each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, everyone. I promise you will not hear any slapping bags anymore. My wife's going to kill me tonight. Let's get this started. All right. I'm sure Facebook will catch that and take it out. So, hey, Jeff, good to see you, dude. We had a couple people on until I started playing the music. All right. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching live or the rewatch. Right now, I'm talking about going to extremes. Why we go to extremes. It almost feels like a compulsion to us. Right? I'm waiting for, I know Facebook is up and running. I'm just waiting for people to say, oh, they're live. I'm going to go there. I'm going to click on it. So, still getting some sharp pains in the tummy here. Yes, I am in a better mood. I just, it isn't that I've been in a bad mood lately. I've just been sick or in pain. And this stuff is hard enough to do anyway. Because I do it by myself, man. I don't have it. You see my production team? Here I am. I'm not too happy with my background, stuff like that. All right. 20. Let's get this captions. Okay. So, I was thinking about this, right? Is that, I spent a little over 3 years of my life behind bars or in group homes. Actually, it was more than that. A little more than that, probably closer to 4 years. Okay. And I have never even been on probation. I haven't done jail time for anything that I really did anything. Right? And this is where we get scared, man, because let's say you're talking to a police officer and you're like, I feel like I'm going through trauma. Man, you're probably going to jail because that's how they treat us. Are you catching this? Thank you, baby. My wife takes very good care of me. There's no way I could have gone through all this without her. I probably shouldn't pick on her tonight. I'm just happy she's home. So I am. I went upstairs to get a hug, but she was busy. So I said, leave me alone. I'm going live. I go live. Don't talk to me. And I'm in a weird mood too. So it's because I'm being alleviated of pain, man. It's kind of like the pink cloud effect. Ouch. I think I'm just going to go back to this position. So I was in jail or, put away or something for a good chunk of my life. There is not enough light in here. Right? But I never got in trouble. Usually when you leave jail, you're on parole, probation. No, I was never in there for anything that would really define as a criminal act. I don't know how I pulled that off. I should have gotten at least one DUI. Thank you, God. Here's the thing, though. What did you learn while you were growing up? What do we do with crazy people? I have been in places actually called a mental asylum. They've changed the words now, but it's still there. Still does the same thing. We are pre-programmed for this. This is a defense mechanism, guys. And I hate to say it, a very, very good one. Because once you realize what it is that you are doing, you can start to take it and utilize it for something else. You guys know me. I'm not going to bring up a topic and not come up with the solution. Right? So we are taught this from a very young age. Right? It's kind of like if you don't go to college, you're going to be flipping hamburgers all your life. Is that what you want for your life? Well, actually, right now, that sounds kind of nice. A nice, easy job, man. Right? It really depends on who you are. Hey, Gary, it's good to see you, dude. So, what is it with us people that have a predisposition to addiction? Okay, what is a predisposition? It means you're fucked. You already got it. You already caught it. Already done. You were born with it. No, sorry. None. Now, most people turn to alcohol. It's the number one substance that gets used around it, right? But really, it's any mind-altering substance. Okay. I'd like to talk about the difference of addiction between alcohol and drugs on this, but I don't think it matters because there is a difference, and it's a big difference. We can cover it real quick. I got to move the fan. You guys know me. I'm a creature of comfort. All right. So alcohol, not everybody. I've met drug addicts that drink just fine, drink normally. You know, they drink just fine because what they had was trauma, and then they got caught up in drugs. Drugs, it doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to have the predisposition to be hooked on drugs. Right? There's a lot of people out there. I needed a good breath there. I need another one. Helps with the cramps. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, overall, my body feels better because my gallbladder, man. I don't. Okay. Anyway, so we were talking about how this is kind of inbred in us, and these things are already rooted in us. So I hate to say it, but the cards are kind of stacked against us, right? And until parents learn, and this is the hard part about breaking generational cycles, it would be impossible. It's almost impossible to do right now. There's just too much out there with the opioid, and it's still an epidemic. We need a bigger word for it because it's killing more people a day than anything right now. I could give a fuck less about your coronavirus, right? So we sober up, or we clean up, or we get rid of the part before the isms, right? In Gary's case is going to be food and consumption. For me, it's alcohol. Jeff, I don't know you personally, so I'm not going to speak for you. But there was something that happened to us before that, and it was probably trauma related. And it's very, very hard for us to understand that this has actually happened. And it can be tough. So we go to extremes because we don't know anything else. Imagine it like this. Hey, Grandpa, see how I can jump? You can see? Can you see? Watch me, watch me, watch me. That's what we're like. Are we not? Where what we're doing is we're always looking for comfort outside of our own comfort zone. All right? I'm not comfortable right now. My stomach hurts. Maybe if I lean left. There we go. Yeah, that didn't do it. Ow. Man, I'm getting good at making people go. All right. Yeah, Dion's changed again. No, I already know that there's people that need to hear this because I see my friends out there and I can feel it. I can feel the frustration right now. I can feel everybody's frustration. If I'm close to you, I could probably feel it even more. All right? And you feel it? So it comes down to what are we going to do with that? What is it that we're going to do with it? There was something else that had come up um, that I wanted to cover a little bit. I don't know if it's going to come back to me or not. It's like my preaching just went away. So, um, sorry. Hell, let's talk about that song. You know what he's writing about, don't you? Yeah, his alcoholism. Billy Joel's been in the program for a long time, long, long time. In fact, I met a person who told me that, and he thought this was funny. And he said, "Yeah, I was in treatment with Billy Joel, which does not impress me." Sorry, you're in treatment. That just means you had as much money as he did at the time. And we took him for 10,000. I told this guy, I'm like, "Don't you ever fucking talk to me again." I told him, "Don't you ever fucking talk to me again, or I will get a hold of Billy Joel and tell him where the fuck you're at." So I was still drinking at the time, and so was he. Um, he actually passed away for drinking too much. His name was Dave, and he was actually the person that bought my plane ticket out to California when I decided I was going to move out there, kill myself to death, drink myself to death. Of course, I didn't film in on that part of the plan. But there again, we go to extremes, right? Isn't that me moving away, thinking I can get away from other people, thinking I can go over here and things will be better? But the thing is I'm still there. I am still there. All right. Let's see what Gary's got to say here. For me, it's childhood trauma. I'm spending a lot of times in meetings and counseling to work through. Yeah. It's the best thing that'll help. I say it all the time. This is not a self-help program. It's a help yourself program. Right? It's like a smorgasbord of freaking spirituality. And there are some people's higher power I don't understand, but they're happy and sober. So what? Right? Here's the other problem. When we get now we've done the steps and we've gone through things. Wherever you go, there you are. Absolutely, Jeff. Thank you. That threw me off. Oh, we get into the program and we work the. See, it's not hard to throw me off. That's how you know I'm not quite on my game. So we get in and we start to live these principles, and then something pops up. Something pops up that just we want to fight it. I'm going to give you some examples of some things that we do. All right. We'll do things like, well, I'm helping out with child abduction. Excuse me. When you're supposed to be working on your damn program, right? But the thing is what we consider a fight, we are now bringing anger back into, and guess what's going to happen with it? You're just going to go flat on your face, break your little nose, and it's going to do you no good. It's going to do you absolutely no good. There's a lot of groups out there that are fighting the stigma. It's not that I disagree with them, but they can tend to cause more controversy. And we're not allowed to do that. See, our job is to show other people how you can come into agreement with the things that you don't really want going on in your life. Fuck, everybody I know's got coronavirus or whatever right now. Oh. So we can't get caught up in the state of the world. Okay? Why do we latch onto those? Because it is very hard for somebody to come along and say, stop believing in that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'll tell you. Okay? Is that your job? No, it's not. Your job, okay? Do you have the money to do it? Obviously not, because you're running your mouth. Okay? I'm even calling myself out a little bit here, aren't I? Yeah. So I don't have the money, so I do the speaking, I do the talking, I do the yakking. Right? And we latch onto these things. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you something. Probably has something to do with your trauma. And if you have not dealt with that trauma yet, it's going to fuck you up. You go do that. Because what's going to happen? Trigger, 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 trigger. Now everything's done. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I just want some peace and quiet in my mind. But you're the one that did it to yourself. All by your little self. So what does that do? Well, that brings us back around to honesty. Being honest with ourselves. Do I want to do something about child abduction? Fuck yeah. If I had millions of dollars to throw at it, I would. But it's not my realm. So I have to trust. I have to have faith that God is taking care of that. We cannot be everything to everyone. So just be you. Trust me, you are going to do more good and you will get more done if you are just yourself. And sometimes it comes to that'll mean that you're going to have to come around and say, hey, maybe this isn't suited for me. I want to. I have the passion for it, but maybe now isn't the time. Because if it's causing more confusion than harmony, get the fuck out. I don't care what it is. Right? I find it funny that we even argue in the recovery world. Anytime there's an argument in the recovery world, all I see is selfishness. You're trying to shove your ideals down somebody else's throat. Their ideals may be different. God accepts you for who you are. Just saying. And sometimes that could be the hardest thing to do. Sometimes I have to sit back and watch my friends go under. Because there's nothing I can do. I try, but you guys know how this works, man. So yes, we alcoholics, I say that specifically because I'm an alcoholic, but yeah, people with addictions, we go to extremes. And that does not escape us just because we got sober or quit gambling or quit looking at porn. No, depending on what your disease is. Hey, Paula. It wasn't. Paula's asking, because Paula just jumped on. She says, are we talking first step powerless over people, places, and things? We were not. I was giving examples of extreme, but let's talk about the first step. I feel up to it. We've been on for almost 20 minutes, and I'm still up for it. I could do another 10, 15 minutes. So let's just pull it out of the 12 by 12. Would that work for you, Paula? Sorry, so thank you, Dion, for not letting me go under. Well, carry this because you're doing the work. I didn't pull you out. You did that. So, Paula, I'm going to read from the 12 by 12. And what I'm going to do is read like the first couple of sentences. But you also wanted to talk about powerlessness over people, places, and things. So let's cover that part first, right? And so that part would be, and our lives have become unmanageable, right? And it happens in sobriety. That's why I'm really big. You guys, I need to stand up and do a little bit of stretching. I'm sorry. So this can happen in the program. It certainly can. So there was one time my first wife and I, And I met her in the program. She was in the program. And we gotten into a pretty big fight. I'm not going to go into the whole story. But I didn't handle it very well. I ended up on the corner of the side of the street at an AA conference, yelling and screaming at God on the corner of the street. I believe I was 7 years sober at the time. I was at an AA conference. I'm covered. I got everything. Nope. And that is exactly why it's a daily reprieve, right? So every day is a new day to start this over. So when it comes to feeling powerless, the thing is when we hear, okay, I'm powerless. So the first thing that's going to come to my mind is, well, I want that power back. But that power doesn't belong to me. That's God's. It's not mine. And this is a very practiced skill. It is a skill, and probably one of the biggest that you will ever have in your life. And you'll be able to utilize it for anything that comes along, not just drugs and alcohol, but the in-laws, everything that just fucking pisses you off, right? So let's do a little bit of reading on it. Who cares to admit complete defeat? Okay. I'm going to stop right there. Can we do it right now? Can we do that right now and just admit that we have been completely defeated? I have been. It was the only way for me to wipe my slate clean so I could start over. You need a fresh start. You do. Whew. Hot ears. Now, the hardest ones are the people closest to us. Those are, for me, that's the hardest one. People that are close to me, like, let's say I get into a little argument with somebody, right? I get into an argument with my wife, I'm all fucked up. Because I have my own fears involved in that, right? Yeah. You don't think I don't have a healthy fear of my wife leaving me? You bet. Bet your ass. I don't have a fear of her leaving me. I have a fear of losing her. It's a different kind of fear. Because my wife and I are very intertwined. But it's going to be the people that are closest to you. That's going to be hard because, especially, and let's just bring it up. Hey, Chris, good to see you, dude. Children, man, usually our kids, and the powerlessness over that. So, oh, wait a minute, I got a list here. So this is a list of everything that life owes you. There you go. Oh, sorry. There it is. Nothing. I'm sorry. Right? Life owes me nothing. Not with the way that I've decided to go about things, right? No, I'm going to go out and I'm going to work for those things. Yeah. You earn them. It isn't deserve, it's earned. I deserve a lot of things in my head, right? Good, Paula. I'm glad to hear that. I usually dig until I get it. And I'm one of those people where I will tell you, but I'll also tell you that you're a beautiful soul and you don't deserve to do that. You don't deserve to do that to yourself. Right? So who's the number one person we need to take care of? Me. So take care of you first. Put on your mask first. Take care of you. That doesn't mean run around being selfish and, doing whatever the hell you want to. Um, you know, my I worry about my daughter too. Ooh, Chris, great word. Love it. Chris says, and I don't expect everybody to be hanging out this whole time. I love this. Thank you, Jeff, for hanging out, everyone. Chris says, I do like grace, but I am learning. That's very humble. Hey, Jackie, good to see you. Now Jackie's showing up. I'm gonna have to come up with the third topic. I won't be able to. I won't be able to pull that off. So what we go over? Well, we went over why we go to extremes, and we go to extremes because we were taught that because of fear. Hey, mom, I'm feeling this way. Well, they're gonna put your ass away. You say some things. You guys know this, and they will put your ass away. So what do? We keep our mouths shut. We internalize it. Then we start creating situations which don't exist. And by this time, there's a good chance that we have found our outlet, whether that be alcohol or drugs or, water, which I've been drinking a ton of lately. There it goes. Chris is on a roll, man. Growth. Yeah. So we talked about the extremes and why we go to those extremes, right? And that how sometimes when we sober up and we do the 12 steps and we go to extremes, we're maybe looking at another type of group. Maybe your thing, in this case, we use child abduction stuff. Okay. Now, if you have we usually go after the stuff we've had trauma around. And if you haven't treated your trauma, you're going to mess yourself up. That's what we talked about with going to extremes. And then we also covered the first step and how we are powerless over nouns, people, places, and things, right? We came up with a comprehensive list of what life owes us, which is nothing. And we got to enjoy a little bit of Billy Joel. So.
Sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm shocked, sometimes I don't know how much more I got.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. I was going to tell you how my wife and I got to. We were high school sweethearts. I don't know if everybody knows that, but Shannon and I have known each other a long time. All right. Here, you're welcome, Paula. See, I had a calling. I'm not going to cover that now. I had a calling. I was sitting outside and I wasn't feeling very well. I was feeling a little sorry for myself. I'm like, Dion, people out there are frustrated too. You need to go do something about it. And that's why I did it. I had a calling. I'm not used to those. But apparently they happen to me now. I've also grown a lot in the last 30 days. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go spend some time with my wife. So, I love you guys. Peace out and have a great fucking night. I love you guys.